The fluorescent lights hummed, shopping carts squeaked. It was Tuesday night at the grocery store, just another typical night. I was searching for salsa, mild, never hot. Suddenly, a shriek pierced the air. Not a scream of terror. No, this was different. This was the shriek of a child denied his sugary desires. I turned the corner, my cart now a battering ram through a sea of discounted canned goods, and there it was. The cereal aisle, ground zero. Two children, a boy and a girl, were locked in a stalemate, their eyes locked in a silent battle of wills. The girl, all pigtails and missing teeth, clutched a box of granola. Her expression screamed compromise, a plea for peace in the cereal aisle war. The boy, however, was a conductor of chaos, a maestro of mayhem. His mischievous grin hinted at the storm brewing within. His eyes, wide and wild, darted between two boxes, one boasting a cartoon bee, the other a leprechaun promising sugary bliss. He grabbed both, his tiny hands clutching the boxes like trophies. His mother, a woman who looked like she hadn't slept since 2018, pleaded with him. Her voice was a mix of exhaustion and desperation. "Honey, just one, please, choose." Her words hung in the air, a fragile hope, but he chose both, his determination unwavering, and then, with the grace of a drunken hippopotamus, he lunged for another box, his flailing limbs connecting with the shelf. Boxes tumbled, a cascade of chaos as he reveled in the pandemonium he had created. A store employee rushed over, eyes wide with a mix of horror and resignation. This was not the first time, nor would it be the last, that the chaos Muppet had struck. The mother sighed, shaking her head, a silent acknowledgement of the battle lost. She knew this was just another chapter in the ongoing saga of grocery store adventures. Boxes tumbled like dominoes, Cheerios rained down, creating a surreal scene of breakfast chaos. The air was filled with the sound of cardboard hitting the ground and the soft patter of cereal scattering everywhere. A lone Cheerio landed in my hair, a tiny reminder of the absurdity unfolding around me. It clung there, almost defiantly, as if to say, "Welcome to the madness." I froze, unsure whether to laugh or offer the frazzled mother a hug. The scene was both comical and tragic, a perfect snapshot of parenthood's unpredictable moments. "Ethan, no!" she cried, her voice a mixture of despair and exhaustion. Her eyes darted around, searching for some semblance of control in the chaos. "Look at what you've done," she continued, her voice breaking slightly. Ethan, meanwhile, was delighted, his face lit up with pure, unadulterated joy. He stood in the middle of the cereal carnage, arms outstretched, a sugar-crazed messiah. His laughter echoed through the park, a stark contrast to his mother's frustration. A laugh bubbled up inside me, threatening to escape. The absurdity of the situation was too much to bear. This kid was a legend, a tiny hero in his own cereal-filled saga. His triumph was palpable, his spirit unbroken by the chaos he had caused. The mother, bless her soul, looked like she was about to join the cereal on the floor. Her shoulders slumped and she let out a deep sigh, the weight of the morning's events pressing down on her. "I am so sorry," she mumbled to no one in particular. Her apology hung in the air, a testament to the unpredictable, often overwhelming journey of motherhood. Section 4. A sticky situation, literally. A teenage store employee, acne practically glowing under the fluorescent lights, ambled over. His uniform was slightly wrinkled and his name tag hung askew, as if it too was tired of the day. He surveyed the scene with the enthusiasm of someone watching paint dry, his eyes glazed over the chaos, barely registering the mess that lay before him. "Need some help?" he asked, his voice dripping with the apathy only a teenager working a minimum wage job can muster. It was clear he had asked this question 1,000 times before, each time with less interest than the last. "Just a little," the mother said, her voice tight. She looked like she had been through a war zone, her hair frazzled and her patience worn thin. Ethan, meanwhile, had discovered a stray box of fruit snacks. His eyes lit up with the kind of joy only a child can have over something so simple. He held it up triumphantly, as if he had found buried treasure. "Mommy, can I have this too?" he asked, his voice filled with hope and excitement. The mother closed her eyes, taking a deep breath as if summoning the strength to deal with yet another request. "Not now, Ethan," she said, her voice tinged with exhaustion. I swear I heard a tiny whimper escape her lips. It was the sound of a woman on the edge, teetering between sanity and a breakdown. The teenage employee sighed, the sound echoing through the ravaged cereal aisle. It was a sigh that spoke volumes, a universal language of frustration and resignation. "Clean up on aisle 5, he mumbled into his walkie-talkie. his voice barely above a whisper. It was a call to arms, but one that lacked any real urgency. He then proceeded to step over a fallen box of frosted flakes, crushing it further under his sneaker. The sound of the crunch was almost satisfying, a small act of rebellion in his otherwise monotonous day. As he walked away, the mother and Ethan were left standing there, one overwhelmed and the other blissfully unaware. It was just another day in the life of a busy supermarket where small dramas played out in every aisle. I couldn't take it anymore. I burst out laughing. It was a full-body laugh, the kind that makes your stomach hurt. The mother looked up, startled, then a smile flickered across her face. She started to laugh too. A tired, relieved sound. Ethan, never one to be left out, joined in. Soon the three of us were standing in the middle of the cereal apocalypse, laughing our heads off. The teenage employee shook his head, muttering something about crazy people under his breath. He went back to staring at his phone. Eventually the laughter subsided. The mother, with a little help from me and a very reluctant Ethan, started to clean up the mess. We stacked boxes, our hands brushing, a silent camaraderie forming. As I walked away, my cart a little fuller and my heart a little lighter, I realized something. Sometimes the most chaotic moments are also the most hilarious. They remind us not to take life too seriously, to find the joy in the unexpected, and to maybe, just maybe, avoid the cereal aisle on a Tuesday night.